Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hedera18, and please welcome co-founder and CEO, Mance Harmon.
Welcome to everyone here in Dallas, and to those of you around the world joining us through live stream. We're glad that you're with us. What an amazing year it's been. A full year of firsts for us. I could not be more excited to have you here with us to kick off our first annual developer conference, Hedera18. This conference represents the first opportunity for the companies building on Hedera to present their projects to our community. Here are just a few of the speakers that we will have for you today. John West of Thomson Reuters, Simon Olson from Magazine Louisa, Craig Drabick from TXMQ, Leslie Ankney from Forbes Crypto Markets, and Daniel Rice of SageWise. We will also hear from part of our team, Patrick Harding, SVP of Product for Hedera, Paul Madsen, Senior Technical Architect, Ken Anderson, Chief Developer Advocate, and of course, Lehman Baird. We're honored to have such a wide variety of sponsors here supporting us at this conference. We're so thankful for your support. I had the opportunity yesterday to walk around and meet each one of them in the lobby out here, and of course we encourage you to go out and meet them as well. Many thanks to the developer community. We just launched the mainnet about 4 weeks ago, and we already have over 50 dApps that have signed agreements to build on top of the Hedera platform. You are the visionaries, the pioneers, the ones that are embarking on this journey with us to build a better future. These are the dApps that have already responded to the challenge of what future will you build? The developer community is building a brand new breed of applications that disrupt existing markets and create new ones for years to come. In fact, we've just wrapped up our first 8-city, 2-day global decentralized hackathon. We'll be announcing the winners this afternoon. This was the first time that developers in the community got hands-on experience with the SDK that we just launched last week. We challenged these developers from all around the world to see what future they can build, and we're going to take a quick look now at the hackathons from around the world. Very cool. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. So thank you so much to everyone that participated in the hackathon. There were a lot of great projects. You're going to hear about a few of them today, and we'll announce the global winner this afternoon. Some of those companies are here as sponsors. Please be sure to visit the sponsors, and you'll be able to talk to the teams that are building these projects. We want you to learn and network and, of course, have fun. So now I'm going to spend just a few minutes on how we got to where we are today. As many of you already know, back in 2012, Lehman Baird, my co-founder, the inventor of the Hashgraph, had a vision for how the way the internet should work, how people should be able to reach out and carve out a slice of cyberspace and create virtual environments in which they work together and play together and exchange goods and services with one another without the need to trust a central party with their data and privacy. And I remember many evenings at a Starbucks in Cedar Park, Texas, which is a suburb of Austin, about 3.5 hours south of here. Many evenings sitting at that Starbucks with Lehman, going over the latest thought, the latest work that he had done, a lot of rabbit holes that led to nowhere for many years, until 2015, the Hashgraph was born. Hedera Hashgraph is dedicated to realizing that original vision. A trusted, secure environment that makes the world a safer place for all of us to live. But who is Hedera? In other words, who are we as a company? To answer that question, I think it's important to talk about our core values. Here is what we individually and corporately strive to be: a company of integrity. We're trustworthy, truthful, and positive. We hold ourselves to the highest of ethics. We do the right thing even when nobody is watching. We're dedicated to service. We make the world a better place. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And in everything, we pursue excellence. We strive for the best in what we create and in what we do in every part of the business. And we are a team. We take care of each other. We consider ourselves a family, and we work together as a family. These are our core values. And for everyone here and you that are watching the live stream, we're inviting you to come along with us on this journey. We're grateful for you, for those of you that already have, and we hope that you go with us to improve the world together. Today, you're going to hear from some of the more than 100 dApps that are building on us. I'd like to highlight just a few of these organizations today and this morning. Companies like Almond, that's focused on the environment by incentivizing us to lower our carbon footprint, or companies like Hero FM that matches fans with artists to fairly and quickly compensate the musicians for the work that they're building via micropayments. Or how about GAR Global, working to lessen the environmental impact of electricity by developing renewable energy via cross-border microgrids. And then there's Carbon Money, who is here with us today as well, that was moved to create a stable coin due to the volatility of currencies in developing countries. And Organifi, that's focused on building trust in what we eat by tracking the supply chain of organic goods from farm to table. And then finally, Sortara, that's improving patient outcomes in the pharmaceutical industry. Actually, let's hear from one of their technology leaders, Jim Nasser. But that's just an algorithm, and it's not sufficient to overcome the obstacles to mainstream adoption of public distributed ledger technology in the market today. We identified 4 when starting Hedera. 2 are technology performance. You have to do far better than 5 transactions per second. Security. If we're going to be building a platform that processes trillions of dollars of value, then you know it's going to be attacked. So you have to start with the very best building block possible, a block that is asynchronous BFT. Stability. You have to have a platform that anybody that's considering spending a few $1 million to build an enterprise app on top of, that they know it will not fork, that they're not going to have to deal with the chaos of forking and splitting of a platform into 2 competing platforms and cryptocurrencies. And then finally, if you can solve those problems, who is governing this global network and global platform? Can we trust the organization behind the platform? Hedera has answers to all 4 of those obstacles. And it seems like a long time ago, but it was actually just 7 months ago when we unveiled these plans, our plans for a public DLT built on Hashgraph in New York City back in March of this year. Let's take a quick look. So that was a lot of fun. That was a major milestone for us. We worked for years to get to that point. It seems like a lifetime ago. So what have we been up to since March? Well, let's do a quick review in terms of business, technology, and governance. We published the white paper in March that describes our vision for what this world can be using Hashgraph as the basis for a public network. We did a lot of API reviews with the developer community, and we built a developer portal. We did a world tour, 4 continents, spent a lot of weeks visiting cities around the world, meeting the developer community, business partners. A lot of effort went into reaching out and engaging the world as a global community. We built a pipeline of more than 100 dApps that we now have being built on top of the platform. We launched our developer advocacy program, and we developed partnerships with accelerators and system integrators. And of course, we raised a lot of money, $124 million. In terms of the technology, we now have a mainnet that's been launched. The tokens are generated. There are 50 billion tokens in the Hedera wallet. The API specification is complete, and we've published the SDK, and many of you have already seen and used that in the hackathon that's just been completed. And then, in addition, we now have formalized proofs of correctness of the proof of correctness that Lehman built or created 2 years ago. So Lehman's going to talk a lot more about this, but we've used a technology called formal methods, which basically makes it possible to take a computer and then have the computer check the correctness of the math proof that proves that Hashgraph as an algorithm is in fact asynchronous BFT. And that computer program written in COQ is now published and on our website, and for those that are mathematicians in the industry and care about such things, and they are very important, you can go and download it and take a look. In terms of governance, we continue to make strong progress with the council. We've signed many more LOIs, letters of intent. We've finalized the LLC agreement. We had an initial meeting 3 weeks ago in New York City, where a large group of this initial set of council members joined us for 2 days of work on preparing the council and how we're going to operate and work together in the coming days. And we've engaged in a dialogue with the SEC to ensure that the activities that we're pursuing today and that those that we'll pursue in the future are compliant with existing and future regulation. That's what we've been up to. But where are we today? Well, let's talk about some of the unique features of the platform that we've built in that I think are interesting and add a lot of value to the community. First off, ABFT, already said. But when you start with ABFT as a building block, an algorithm that's ABFT as a building block, it turns out that the house that you build from that block looks very different than a house that can be built from a block that's not ABFT. And what that really means is that when the system is at scale, when we've introduced sharding to create a global network of tens of thousands of nodes, if not more, that system as a whole will maintain the asynchronous BFT property. And that's coming. State proofs. What are state proofs? In just a sentence or two, it makes it possible for you to ask the balance of your account from a node and be assured that the node is not lying to you about that balance, or ask for the results of a file, or whether a file even exists in the network, or ask for the results of a smart contract, and you can be assured that the node that you ask will never be able to lie about the answer. Hierarchical multisig. We make it possible for you, the developers, to use N of M threshold keys, where each one of the keys, each one of the N itself can be a hierarchical multisig signature, N of M threshold key. What about the services? There are three to start: cryptocurrency, smart contracts, and file storage. For the cryptocurrency service, it enables micropayments directly on graph, not a side chain, not something separate, on graph, cryptocurrency with native support for micropayments, with a very high throughput and very low latency. In addition, we have something that we call claims, which makes it possible for you to have an authority attach credentials to your account, and then you can prove that those credentials have not been revoked. And this will become really important for a lot of different use cases, including critically important for KYC, the KYC solution, when users want to use it. In terms of smart contracts, we now have support for Solidity up and running. Many of you have used it this week. It enables and realms, and a concept that we've introduced, makes it possible for developers to run Solidity smart contracts in parallel. Optional binding arbitration. Optionally, an individual or a group can provide binding arbitration for the smart contracts that they've created. Or what about file storage? Our file storage is Byzantine. It's a replicated file storage system. It's Byzantine, and what that means is that we can not only prove that the file has been stored on the network, we can prove that the file has been deleted. Cryptographically prove to a third party that the file's been deleted, which will become really important for GDPR, General Data Protection Regulations. Controlled mutability. This makes it possible for the Governing Council to comply with GDPR and other similar regulations. So this is our symbol. This is the digital currency that we believe is going to change the world. This is called an H-bar. Hedera removes the fundamental obstacles that we believe are preventing adoption of this public DLT category. We've solved the problems of performance and security. We provide stability, a guarantee that the platform will not fork, with a governing council that is the most decentralized governing council of any of the public platforms. Ultimately, a council of 39 global enterprises that span industries across 18 sectors, span geographies chosen from every continent around the globe, and are term limited, so they span time as well. The most decentralized organization that represents the interests of the entire global community. But none of this matters if the economics of the system don't work. So let's talk about that. And to talk about the economics of Hedera, I'm happy to invite my co-founder and business partner and lifelong friend, Lehman Baird, to the stage.